watching.
Subscribe.
Hey guys, it's SoCalVal, and everyone here at Screenstalker is anticipating/dreading the very last episode of Game of Thrones, which drops next week from HBO. It's the end of an era. What a crazy dragon ride it's been, right? But as epic as the series is, there are some storylines from Winterfell and beyond that have us scratching our heads, like WTF? So today, we're discussing the Game of Thrones storylines that make no sense, like none. But hold on just a minute. Before we get started, press the thumbs up button, give us a subscribe, and answer our question of the day. Which Game of Thrones storyline do you think is the worst? Let's hear from you in the comments. So, let's begin with a saucy little catfight, shall we? The Arya-Sansa feud from Season 7. The show wanted to get to a point where they could have a twist of Sansa calling out Littlefinger for treason and having him murdered. So in order to make the twist, they started a feud between Arya and Sansa because reasons? Neither really had legitimate beef with each other. It all seemed very forced and arbitrary, so we could just have these twists, right? So why are y'all trying to make these two badass boss babes have beef, yo? Did a dude sanction this? Yeah, probably. Next up, what's with all the fast travel? What is this, 24? This could literally be talked about for hours, but it's set up in the earlier seasons that Westeros is a gigantic landmass and it takes months to travel around. Add in Essos that also takes months to travel in. And yet in later seasons, people are seemingly teleporting and traveling faster than humanly possible. Is there like a time machine hidden somewhere that they just forgot to tell us about? Somebody call Doc and fire up the DeLorean. Ooh, the Daenerys DeLorean. Coming soon to a dealership near you. Dany manages to fly from Dragonstone to Beyond the Wall in seemingly hours. The Iron Fleet is wherever it needs to be for the plot at any given time. People travel from Winterfell to King's Landing like it's a casual saunter in the park, and Theon manages to cover pretty much the entirety of Westeros whenever he wants to show up at whichever fight he feels like. You could say that the show just has time jumps and it does actually take them months to travel, but we just don't see it. Then why does Cersei's pregnancy bump never show? Those must be some good spanks she got in King's Landing. And why does Sam's baby never age? It's like Benjamin Button. Another confusing element is Euron's super shipbuilding. I'm convinced Euron Greyjoy has possession of the Time Stone because not only can the Iron Fleet sail at time-bending speeds, but after he retakes the Iron Islands, he commands all 20-ish men there to build 1,000 ships. Let's say he's got a full working force. It would still take years to build 1,000 fully functional giant warships, but it's done by like the next episode? I hate this guy, by the way. Maybe it's the styling or something? The super cropped haircut and beard. He looks more like a Starbucks barista than Captain Badass, but I digress. Also, can we discuss the surprise attacks with armies? Like, here's the thing, real talk. It's genuinely not possible to have a surprise attack with an army. Armies are quite loud, you can hear footsteps and hooves from quite a distance. You also can't have surprise attacks with a frickin' dragon, okay? Like a dragon. I mean, granted, they'll fly from a distance and they can be relatively quiet, but they literally block out the sun with how large they are, plus the screeching, plus the sound of fire destroying friggin' everything, and Drogon would not have been able to get the jump on the Golden Company. But we'll just ignore that. Moving on to Dany's heroics/madness. Her mood swings, if you will, which she's totally entitled to, by the way, because she is a female, but damn, they're clearly getting worse. Dany's shock turn in episode 5 drove her to madness, but the actions she takes aren't really that out of character. She's been conquering cities with force and fire since she began taking power, and she's been killing people without remorse for a long time. Her actions of burning people who don't obey her were seen as a heroic thing in Essos, but since she's jumped to Westeros, suddenly it's like a really bad thing, especially when it's Sam's family. Another confusing element, the Sand Snakes plan. The Sand Snakes had Myrcella Baratheon, who was to be wed to a Dornish guy. That was their key to power, their way in towards an eventual claim to the Iron Throne. So they killed her because, again, reasons? Hello? Anyone? Bueller? And finally, though we love Arya Stark, how is it that she survives literally everything ever? Arya is not Wolverine. She got stabbed by the waif who then twisted the knife inside her before throwing her into a sewer-filled river. In a world where sexy Khal Drogo dies from an infected cut, you'd have thought that Arya's wound might have gotten at least a little bit infected, plus she might have died from the stab wounds anyway. If we're being realistic here, that is. In a show with dragons. But still, she lives on from the attacks from the White Walkers, she kills the Night King, and then in King's Landing she survives the onslaught of a dragon when literally no one else around her survived because plot armor is really strong. And also, there was a magical horse waiting for her. She shouldn't have survived like that. It's like she called an Uber in the form of a horse and said, "Peace out." What? No, really, what? Anyway, perhaps all will be revealed next week on the series finale of Game of Thrones. Until next time, do us a favor and make sure to click the thumbs up button on this video, give us a subscribe, and click the bell icon to enable notifications so you'll be notified for future episodes. For Screen Stalker, I'm SoCal Val. We're watching.